everyone. This is episode 122 of Nerds with Mics. I'm Emily.
I'm Travis.
And I'm Justin.
And today we're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Remastered coming out. The Book of Boba Fett trailer just got released. And Garfield. What? Why are we talking about Garfield?
We'll get into that.
Okay, but first, so what have you guys been up to? This because we didn't do last week, right? So what have you guys been up to these last couple weeks?
So I've actually been quite busy. I've been on vacation, but I didn't really plan out my vacation totally like great because my first week of vacation was actually finals week of class. So that caused me to basically be stuck at home doing homework the first week I was on vacation. I actually started vacation on the 22nd of October, and I don't go back to the 4th of November. So I've been on vacation a minute. Yo, what up, Ghost and Pain? But over the weekend, I went to Kings Island with some friends, and it was good, except the weather did not cooperate, so I did not really get to go to Kings Island that much, but there was other activities and shopping and IKEA and all that good stuff, and eating brunch and drinking mimosas, so it was still a good time. Other than that, I've been watching a lot of shows. So I watched Squid Games. 10 out of 10 recommend. It's real good. I've also been watching the new show that came to Apple TV Plus called Invasion, and it is really good. 4 episodes in, I think that's all the way caught up. Emily, you still have one more to watch, right?
This past week's episode, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, because they launched with 3, and then they have the new episode, so they're on 4th. And then I got caught up on Foundation, which last episode was crazy.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it tonight because I'm not going to be sleeping.
Oh, you got to. Yeah, I was going to say you got to watch that one. And then obviously watch the new episode of The Morning Show, which was also crazy as well.
Did they just make all these episodes crazy on the same week?
Like, I'm telling you.
Was Invasion crazy too?
Yes, because you got to see a little bit more about what's actually going on. But yeah, it's real good. Other than that, I've been playing the new Guardians of the Galaxy game. Sleeper hit, dude. It's real good. It's real good. It's what I wish the Avengers game would have been. Honestly, at first I was kind of upset. I was like, God, this before I even played it, I was like, I don't understand why they wouldn't make this 4-player co-op. Like, it's a perfect game for that. But the way the gameplay is and the focus on the story being single player, it's excellent. I was not expecting to like it as well as I did. The graphics are amazing. Gameplay is amazing. The haptic feedback on the PlayStation controller is amazing. Just overall great game so far. I think I'm about 4. I think I'm in chapter 4. So I'm a few hours into it, but it's real good. I actually played what's that Riders game, Justin? I don't want to
Riders Republic.
Yeah, Riders Republic. It's a game that we got we need to actually review that game now. I'm sitting there thinking about, but I played a little bit of it. I didn't actually I just did the free roam. It's called Zen mode, where you just go around. It's like open world. You just do your own thing. I did that. I did not know that there was jetpacks in the game. Basically,
yeah, it's like the extreme sports version of Forza.
Yeah, it's from what now. Of course, I haven't played with the
Horizon.
Community. Yeah, I haven't played with the community yet, but just messing around in Zen mode was kind of cool. But I was going to tell you, I was like, because you could do multiplayer in Zen mode. I was like, you and I need to hop on and just go around and get in some trouble. So
sure.
Other than that,
getting into some trouble on bikes.
Also, they have paragliding. They have all sorts of things. Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought it was just a bike.
No, you can get skis. You can get skis with rockets.
Snowboards.
You can get you can get bikes with rockets. I mean, you can get all kinds of things.
Fun, interesting.
I'm trying to think if I've seen any new movies. Oh, watch the new Dune movie.
Me too.
It's good. I kind of want to go to theaters and see it. I watched it on HBO Max, but I feel like a little bit was lost because it wasn't like the grand scale. Because it's a pretty big movie. Like the scale of the movie is pretty grand, and I feel like in the theater is probably where I should watch it.
If you see it in theaters, let me know because I want to see it in theaters too.
And also went home, visited the parents, went to church, which I haven't done in a long time. That was real.
How's your mom doing?
She's great. She's great. We had a good time yesterday. Went and ate Mexican after church. I hand out candy during trunk or treat. And then we watched scary movies all day. We watched the new Candyman movie, which if you haven't seen it, is pretty good. And then we watched that it's new to me, but I don't know really when it came out. But there's that movie. It's called Freaky with Vince Vaughn and some other girl, where it's like Freaky Friday, but she switches body with a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
So the young version of herself is the killer, and the old Vince Vaughn is the female, and it's real interesting.
Is it funny?
Oh, it's a comedy horror for sure.
Okay.
It's pretty good. You should check it out. I actually liked it way more than I thought I would. But other than that, gosh, I now feel like I've been talking forever. Been playing my OLED Switch some more. Oh, I got a new device that I'll actually talk about for the Switch. I'll save it for my pick of the week. I don't want to talk about it right now, but I will talk about it later. Other than that, that is it. What about you, Justin? What have you been up to?
Yeah, still watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Nothing new there, although we're almost done with it. We're in season 7. No, we're in the second to last season. I think we're in season 7. I think there's 8 seasons. Man, that show is so good. That show is good. I also saw Dune. We've also been watching horror movies. We've been rewatching the Scream movies. Getting ready for that new one in January. I said I saw Dune already. Oh yeah, Trick or Treat. Having a 7-year-old. So when I was a kid, there was Trick or Treat, right? And you went out and you tricked or treated. I don't know. But now that I have a 7-year-old, I find, and I don't know so much if this is society or my wife, but there's Trick or Treat. There's Trick or Treat in Ironton. There's Trick or Treat in Flatwoods. There's Trunk or Treat. There's Trunk or Treat at the hospital. There's Trunk or Treat at the church. There's Trunk or Treat everywhere. There's family trick or treats, and I'm exhausted. So I'm wore out. Owen's ninja costume is almost wore out, and I'm just ready to sleep. So that's where I've been tonight. We had trick or treat in Ironton tonight, and I'm tired. So I've been playing Guardians as well. Still just grinding Hell Let Loose. It's my favorite game in the world right now. Yeah, I did play a teeny bit of New World. I know Emily and I talked a little bit about that earlier in our text conversation. But I think I'm gonna go back to Final Fantasy. I like New World, but I think I'm gonna go back. We do have a comment here. Dune was great. Denis Villeneuve, I think I said the name right, is one of my favorite directors. Emily, what have you been up to?
Yes. Well, I played lots of Borderlands last week. Surprise, surprise. There was events going on. This since I think at the beginning of October they've been doing like events each week. First week was you had to kill all the Trants in the video game, Captain Tron, General Tron, and Haunt. Second week we had to get sniper kills. We had to get 20 million sniper kills, which we just finished up as a community. And then they also just added a crap ton of health to all of the Trant bosses. So they're like mini raid bosses within the game, which is pretty fun, and up their loot percentage. And then Thursday, there's supposedly another event that's going to take place. So it's been super fun going back in Borderlands, starting a new character in Borderlands. I did a snipers only Amara so that I could just get sniper kills and contribute to the community event. So that was fun. I don't know if I'll continue using snipers now that the sniper event's over because I hate snipers. They're just not my cup of tea in the game. Jesse and I also watched Dune. I think I had watched it already because I thought Jesse had watched it because it said had been watched. Which I'm like trying to think. I'm like, who else would have watched it? I think my aunt and uncle have access to my account because when I was in Texas. So I think they watched it, and then I watched it, and then Jesse was like, well, I want to watch Dune. And I'm like, oh, whoops, I forgot. I thought you already watched it. So I watched Dune again. And it was fun actually watching it a second time and like getting like all the little like quotes and stuff like that. And that like I've heard in Borderlands, for instance, they do a lot of Easter eggs. And fear is the mind killer, that quote, that's like a big Dune quote, I guess it was original Dune. That was that's on I'm pretty sure that's on one of the Borderlands guns. And I was like, I know that. Like, I got like really excited and was like, I know that quote. But not from Dune. And then we've just been hanging out. It was Jesse's birthday on Saturday, so we hung out and we made potato soup, the best potato soup ever in the crock pot. Like we went to the store, got our stuff, we did it in the crock pot, and just had like the best, most amazing cheesy potato soup. And then we just hung out all weekend and did absolutely nothing. It was great. Watched TV shows. We finished watching Tacoma FD, which is an absolutely amazing show. It's on you can watch it on HBO Max. First 2 seasons are on there. But yeah, that's been about it. Borderlands streaming, and then I got my booster today. Hey,
There it is.
Oh,
what's
there
on
it
the
is.
Band-Aid?
CVS, little heart.
Okay, nice.
I went to CVS and she brought it out, and I looked at it. I was like, it matches my mask, and she just like looked at me like, yeah.
Did you get a sucker or anything?
No, just a fever.
I got a
That's,
prescription.
Real hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Travis, your mic sounds a little off. Did
Oh,
you switch
does it?
Yeah,
If I did, I didn't mean to. Keep
it
talking.
totally
I
switched mics.
Yeah, it sounds like you're coming
does that
through
sound better?
internal mic.
Nope.
No,
That does not sound better. Hold on just a second. I think
Could
I
be a
know
network
why.
thing too. No big deal.
On a busy
So I'll move on to the next story. So last week we got our first glimpse, and I know Emily doesn't care so much about this. Hopefully this will be what brings her into this franchise. But last week they released the trailer with gameplay for Grand Theft Auto Trilogy. I think it's called the Definitive Edition, or is it just called Remastered? How are they branding this? Do we know?
I think it's the definitive edition.
Travis is back with that.
I'm back
with that voice that we all know.
Sultry
Smooth voice. Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, they released the trailer, and I gotta tell you, I'm hyped. I'm just so hyped for this game. It comes out November 11th, which that was the original date for the GTA 5 remaster for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles. So we got something on this day. And honestly, I'm more pumped about the original trilogy than I am the GTA 5 remaster, basically because five still looks great. But they showed off gameplay, character models, the lighting effects. Of course, it's kind of hard to tell just how well the gameplay feels because it was just a video. And those older titles have aged a bit. So I'm excited to see it, Travis. I know I'm speaking more to you on this since you've played them and care about them and cherish them.
Yeah,
like some people in here.
Yeah. I played so much of these games. More so I'll be honest. I mean, I played San Andreas like a decent amount, but 3 and Vice City, I sunk so many hours into those games. I think Vice City, honestly, is probably one of my favorite Grand Theft Auto games, maybe one of my favorite games of all time, just because the soundtrack, the neon lights, the 80s setting, just everything about it. Also, are they voicing one of the characters where it didn't have a voice before, or did I make that up?
I think you made that up. It's Claude from GTA 3. He didn't have a voice,
okay.
but I don't think he's going to have one in this either.
Oh, okay. Some of the biggest things that jump out to me, obviously the characters look a little bit better, but like cars and the city and the environment is really what does it for me. What's funny is obviously, I feel like you and I are probably going to buy these on PlayStation, but I definitely feel like I'm going to buy these on my Switch if I'm being honest.
I think I will too, actually. I was thinking that. I was like, I really want to take these with me.
Yeah, I mean, because just to have those games with you all in one game, just I definitely think's the move, especially on that new OLED Switch. Kind of looking forward to it.
We're getting so many good games in November, and we've received so many good games this year. And I'm probably most excited for this remaster of like 20-year-old games, and I just don't even care.
You know what I'm going to be super curious about? So you know how they finally, it took like a year or two, but then they finally brought like Grand Theft Auto 5 to PC, and then came all these mods that made it look next gen. What if they mod the crap out of the PC versions of these 3 games and make them look like almost next gen because of all the mods?
Well, that had already happened before with the original versions, and then Rockstar, before they announced this, issued a cease and desist.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
funny.
kind of what tipped everyone off that, they're probably gonna announce something.
Yeah.
Which is scummy. I mean, don't do that. But I'm really excited for it. But Travis, they announced something else. Now, Rockstar didn't announce this. Mark Zuckerberg did. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, not that Facebook doesn't have enough going on.
Meta.
However, Meta. Oh, my bad. They're gonna come get me. But anyways, they actually announced that Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is coming to the Oculus Quest 2. Now, I'm not really sure on what the date is. I don't know if it's going to drop the same day that the trilogy comes out. I'm not sure if there even is a date. I know that they announced it at their Facebook Oculus event. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. I think everybody's always, which I know that they've modded Grand Theft Auto like 4 and 5 to be able to play in VR, but I'm really curious to see what like a native version of the VR from Rockstar will be like.
Nauseating.
I just keep thinking about going on to a convenience store and just like holding the guy up and saying, "Give me all the money in the drawer," and then see where it goes from there.
Skydiving.
Oh yeah, dude, and jetpacks.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I do wonder. I know they released the LA Noire LA case file, VR case files, and it was just like separate cases, like chunks of the game that were in VR. If it's like that, I'll be disappointed. But I have a hard time seeing them making this entire game in VR.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially just for the Quest 2. Like, there's no PC component, like because like the PC VR headsets obviously have beefier spec capabilities. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to work, but I'm here for it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm really excited for it.
So this remaster has me really excited. Okay, very excited, in fact. So did I stress very excited too much, Travis?
I think
Emily, what? You both are giggling at me.
I was giggling because he was giggling.
Oh my gosh! All right. So this I want to pose a question. I want to pose a discussion question for all.
Dish question.
We're a little silly here in the 8 o'clock hour on a Monday night. So over the last year or so, we've seen complete rebuilds of games like Demon's Souls, Mafia, Star Wars: The Old Republic is getting one. I wouldn't call the GTA one a complete rebuild because it's not, but it's more than just a remaster. It is kind of like an overhaul. And these are games from kind of like the PS2 era, OG Xbox era, the GameCube era. What other games from those eras or before would you want to see be completely rebuilt? Not just here's a new coat of paint. I'm talking like rebuilt from the ground up to be a next gen game. Emily,
I got one. Yeah,
let's hear it.
I got one. The game that got me like hardcore into gaming, which was Fable, the very first Fable.
Oh, that's a
You're
good
getting
one.
one.
It was
those, right?
No, we're getting a new Fable.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I
I
see.
want the very first Fable.
That would be amazing.
Remastered. See, they did a Fable Lost Chapters Anniversary Edition for 360, but it was like what you said. It kind of just got a fresh coat of paint. Maybe they upped the graphics just a little bit. And it came with the Lost Chapters, which was the DLC. But Fable 1 was absolutely my favorite Fable out of all of them. And it like I played that game over and over again for hours on end, and I absolutely loved it. I would love to see it with some new gen graphics. I want you to keep the story. Like, obviously, I want you to keep it as it is story wise and everything, because it had a really good story. And then I do have another one. So I actually still own all of them. I still own my my original Fable on OG Xbox, but I also have all the Harry Potter games. And they were, if you never played them, they were so much fun. They had
PS2?
puzzles. Yeah, it was PS2 and OG Xbox. They were hard. They were extremely difficult because you would I actually quit it. I quit one of the games for like a few months because I just could not figure out how to get past this level.
Did you use a Quidditch pun? Did I hear that snuck in there?
It did kind of sound like Quidditch.
I thought you said you quit, and then I thought you said Quidditch, and I wasn't.
It sounded like you said I Quidditch.
No, I quit it. I quit it.
Oh, okay.
I
quit it for a couple months because I couldn't get past like this one part because there was like secret passageways you had to find. You did play Quidditch in some. There was actually a Quidditch World Cup, just a separate
whole game. Yeah,
whole game. But they stopped at they were good from the 1, 2, 3, and then they did a Goblet of Fire 4, and then when Prisoner of Azkaban came out, and these weren't the Lego ones, these were like the legit like Harry Potter games. They did a I think it was a Prisoner of Azkaban, and it was awful. It was so bad. I think it's when the Kinect came out. and they tried to implement Connect and like all this crap with the Connect, and it was awful. So pretty much all the way like from the first Harry Potter game all the way up to Goblet of Fire was absolutely phenomenal. They were on Xbox and then 360. And I know like a lot of people, hate, J.K. Rowling and stuff like that right now and whatnot, but like that's what I grew up with though,
Yeah.
So like I'm still gonna love it no matter what.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited for that Hogwarts game. The Hogwarts, is it
I
called
am,
Hogwarts
yeah,
Legacy
it's like Hogwarts. I can't remember if I think Legacy's like
is that the
Legacy
mobile game?
the mobile game. There is a new Hogwarts actual game
Yeah,
coming to
I'm
console and
so
PC,
pumped.
and I'm pumped for it. But I just like at the same time I'm like I hate to support like
Oh yeah, because she
that
sucks now.
because she sucks now.
Yeah.
I even like look back at my signed copy of like Chamber of Secrets and I'm like,
You're the
But,
villain now.
yeah, Lever.
Gustin Payne. I hope I'm saying that right. It says, here's an obscure one. I'd like to see Ark's Fatalis remake. It's an OG Xbox and PC game. I have never heard of that.
Never heard of yeah, I've
but
never heard
I
of
will
that.
check into that. If they remake it, I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah. Sorry, I went on forever. Whoever's
No,
wants
that's
to go
good.
next.
Travis.
For me, this might be a game that not a lot of people have played, but me and my dad played a lot of this game back in the day. Do you guys remember the Mercenaries games?
Oh yeah.
So they kind of had like a Just Cause feel if you've ever played the Just Cause games. But you were able to basically like have any type of vehicle dropped anywhere you were, and basically it was an open world game where you were doing missions as mercenaries. It kind of had a vibe like kind of like Grand Theft Auto meets Just Cause meets Far Cry, I guess would kind of be how I would describe it. But I don't know, just that game was really, really fun to me. I was obviously going to go with like an easy one, like GoldenEye, but they've remade GoldenEye, like I think on the 360, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But probably Mercenaries for me. I'll probably have another one if we're going to continue to rotate around, but that's one that just immediately came to my mind because I really, really like that game. What about you, Justin? So calm.
That actually was going to be my last one that I said. You mother effer. Yeah, of course. I want SOCOM to be remastered. Yeah. That's like my whole thing now. Like that's my life's mission. But since you spoiled that, I'll go on to my next one, and that is I would love to see The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time completely rebuilt from the ground up on the Breath of the Wild engine.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Amazing. Perfect.
Oh yeah,
that's all I need. So
because we've seen those people do those the computer generated ones with the Unreal engine, and it's like awesome. But yeah. I'm not even asking for that. I'm just asking for the Breath of the Wild engine.
Yeah, just something like the same game. I mean, you can add stuff to it if you want, or you can like, I don't know. I mean, Nintendo, do whatever you want. Just give me something better than what you gave us with the N64 thing, because apparently it sucks. I haven't even tried it yet.
Yeah.
Emily, do you have any more?
I was trying to think of like the other things that I've played on OG Xbox, because that was like my first like system. Not really, it wasn't like I had Super Nintendos and all that stuff, but this was like my own personal system I did have to share with my brothers. So I would, and another game that I played like on repeat was Dave Mirra.
Oh, the biking game?
Yeah.
Is that biking?
Yeah, it was so good. And it had the best soundtrack ever. Yeah. It was so good. Dave Mirra. And then like I think we already got Tony Hawk. I play a lot of the Tony Hawks and stuff like that too, but I think we already got the Tony Hawks and stuff like that. But yeah, Dave Mirra. I would love to see them rebuild the Dave Mirra game from the ground up. It was
the body physics in that game when you wrecked were so good. You had like the ragdoll effects and stuff, and like I think they even had a game mode where you could see like how much damage you racked up to your body because you'd intentionally try to crash and stuff. Yeah, it was so good.
Ooh, I do have one more. Crazy Taxi. That was on Sega Genesis and it was on OG Xbox, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And I would love to see a like Forza Horizon style, like realistic Crazy Taxi.
That'd be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. You're not asking for much. It's fine.
No.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, I would like to see when I say original, I don't mean like NES original. I mean like PS1 original. Metal Gear Solid.
Gustin Payne said Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake was really good. I agree.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid is rumored to be in production, a remake of that. But
really?
yeah. Oh, Emily, you see that comment?
Yeah, Taxi Chaos for PC.
Taxi Chaos for PC.
I'll have to check it out.
Aside from SOCOM, Travis, thanks. I would actually say there's an old PlayStation 1 game. I think it got a sequel. I don't know if it got anything else than that, but it's been abandoned since like PS1 days, and that's The Getaway. It was kind of like
gosh,
was that PS1 or PS2?
It was. I think they had one on each. I think they had the original was on PlayStation. Then they did Driver 2, or not
Driver 2. Wow.
Get it? No, that was going to be my next one. Never mind. So yeah.
Driver Travis.
No. It was It was actually PS2 is the one you're talking about. You're talking about the one that was kind of like the
British Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
There was no mini map, and the way you knew where you needed to go is the turn signal on your car would blink when it was time to turn.
Yeah, and
I loved it.
And I remember that it was such a big deal because everything in that game was like a 1-to-1 scale, like as far as like
London,
your character, like the sidewalk, the distance from the buildings, like it was all supposed to be pretty accurate. But yeah, that was a really good game. Yeah. So obviously, So Emily, do you have any more? Are you frozen, Emily?
No, the game. I'm watching the trailer for that Taxi Chaos. It literally just came out on the 19th of October.
Does it look good?
This year. It looks good. Yeah, it's not like Forza, like
but it's like
but it's essentially Crazy Taxi. It is 100% Crazy
Switch
Taxi
and PlayStation.
It's on Steam. If it's on Switch, I actually might think about getting on Switch just so I could like sit and chill and play it.
Yeah.
I want to get a game where like I'm. Oh, hang on. There's a lot of noise here. I want to get a game where like I'm the passenger in the taxi.
So you could just be like a Karen in the taxi and be like, take me to my place.
Like, you're driving too slow.
You're driving too fast.
Yeah. This does look just like Crazy Taxi.
It does, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I might pick this up.
Yeah, it actually looks really fun. And then,
Emily, do you have any other ones?
No? I think I listed all of mine.
Okay, well I have a few more. I'll just read them all. I'll just give them all out right now. So Driver, obviously. Obviously, another one.
Okay.
Justin, go ahead and go. I got a cough. You get.
Don't die.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no. That's unfortunate because I was actually out of remaster ideas. So I'm going to stall for a bit. Travis looks like he might be collecting his thoughts and his.
No. I drank water and it went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So Driver, Stuntman. Stuntman.
Yeah.
I like the Stuntman games. And I would love to see Rock Band and Guitar Hero come back.
Oh.
Which I understand.
Yes.
Guitar Hero Live came out, and I've actually been on a crusade of finding guitars.
Nice.
But this is Guitar Hero Live. Like, I want Rock Band with a full-on band, dude. Justin, we were working at GameStop when the Beatles version of Rock Band came out. I want you to know that.
I remember that. I can to this day remember the night Rock Band 1 came out. I remember it was a big day at GameStop because a bunch of games came out that day. And I remember I went to a friend's house after work. We set it up and we were just playing. Just a group of us, right? Well, people in the neighborhood got word and everyone crammed in this tiny room. And it was like a real concert. Like in like a tiny bar or something.
Like that game like brings people together, dude. Like
it does.
And I don't know if it was the licensing issue that like why they don't do it anymore or what, but I understand it, like
the instruments and then the amount how cheap they're made and also like how often they would break.
They were so terribly cheap. They would break so easily.
Yeah, but you would like just too hard and it would be over. It's gone. Bury it.
But I would love to see them bring it into like make it modern where don't make me buy DLC for new songs. Just introduce a microtransaction market where I can buy new songs.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to buy a DLC for only caring about 2 out of 10 songs. You know what I mean?
I think the way Just Dance does it is you pay for like a subscription service and songs just come and go.
It's called Just Dance Unlimited. And you have access to over 500 songs.
But they
Yeah.
can
Just
come
for
and go,
paying.
right? Like they may just pull like all the Miley Cyrus
Um,
songs, and they may add all the Taylor Swift songs or something,
I've
right?
never really seen them pull a whole lot of
Really?
stuff. Yeah, they
Okay.
usually only add stuff. Now it may just be something I've never noticed. They could do that, which would make sense because they do have to pay for licensing fees
Mhm.
for songs. I mean, every single year. And that with the new Just Dance 2020 that just released, they got a ton of huge songs
Yeah.
for that one. And so it's quite possible. But yeah, like Just Dance Unlimited was fantastic because it was essentially kind of like the Guitar Hero Live. It was like a subscription. You could do the subscription base, I think, with Guitar Hero Live, couldn't you? And like you got more songs.
To be honest with you, I just got into it. I didn't play it when it
Okay.
first came out, and the live services are donezo. So
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
think it was the same thing. It was like you paid for like so much. I think Just Dance Unlimited is like $2.99 a month, or it's like 12 something like
Yeah.
a year or something like that. And it's so worth it because you have access to that the whole time. So
yeah.
but Beat Saber is also kind of like that. You can buy individual songs or you can buy packs.
Nice.
Well, and two, what I was going to say, the reason I've been on the hunt for guitars is there's actually a free version on PC called Clone Heroes. That basically they've taken all the features and all the songs from all the Guitar Hero games and they put them into this. They put them into this game. Sorry, they put them into this game. But I also think you have the ability, kind of like Beat Saber, where you can load your own songs into the game. And it works with pretty much most all the guitars, but I've been looking specifically for the USB ones from, I think, the 360 era, the white 360 Explorer controllers is what they're called. But yeah, so I'm looking to get into the PC version, but right now I just found 2 live guitars that I've been using. So, but other than that, I think that's all the games that I can think that I'd want remastered.
Taxi Chaos, real quick, going back to that, it is typically $40.
It's $24.99.
35, sorry, but it's 20 on Switch right now. It's on sale.
$24.99 on PC.
Switch might not be too bad.
Yeah, it'd be like a really fun, I think, kind of handheld game.
I added it to my wish list.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. I think that's so nobody has anything else?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, who's next? Because I didn't write this.
Oh, that was me. Hi. So today they released a trailer for the new Star Wars, the Book of Boba Fett. Did you guys, both of you watched it?
I did. I want to watch it again though. I think I could see it once.
Yeah. I mean it. Ming-Na Wen, I think it's how you say her name. She is amazing at the whole, like, the poster for it looks absolutely badass. Like it looks good. I can't. Did we hear the Mandalorian's voice in it?
I didn't pick up on it if we did.
Maybe they just both sound kind of similar. Especially
I
with,
thought I
their
did.
helmet. I thought I did too. I thought I heard the Mandalorian's voice in it.
Yes, I agree.
But so maybe we'll see him a little bit in this one too. Kind of because we did see Boba Fett technically in the Mandalorian. So maybe Mandalorian will make a surprise little peekaboo in there. But maybe. I think it looked good. I'm excited for it. I love the Mandalorian. What did you guys think? Are you guys excited? Not sure.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I can't wait. I do hate that this results in the Mandalorian season 3 being delayed, but I'll live. I think given the events that happened at the end of Solo and the plan that Lucasfilm had for that world to make the Boba Fett movie next as a sequel to Solo, I think we're going to see Darth Maul in this.
So do you think we'll see? Ooh, I want I think I said this
Khaleesi.
before.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see.
yeah.
I don't. What is her name? I don't know what her name is in the
Kyra.
actual movie. Kyra?
Amelia Clark's her real name.
I know her real name. I don't know her name in the movie.
It's Kyra.
Yeah, Kyra or Gyra?
Kyra.
Amelia Clark.
Amelia Clark. Yeah. Oh, where's the beat button?
Spicy.
Her name.
I'm trying to listen to Justin, and you're trying to talk over him.
It's that booster shot.
QI''RA.
Kira. Okay.
Kira. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would love to see her in this.
Yeah, I would also like to
that would be
see.
cool.
Yeah, I would love to see Amelia Clark in this. Would be great.
You're the worst. Why are you like this?
It's the way he is.
That's just the way that I am. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Honestly, seeing this trailer though, kind of low key, just made me want Mandalorian even more. However, this will be something good to kind of, I think, hold us over. But I'm like you. I have a feeling it's probably gonna start with the Mandalorian in it, even if it's just the first episode. Because I can't imagine the way that season 2 ended that we wouldn't see him at some point during this.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be long enough to probably have the Mandalorian realize that maybe this guy's not so good. And then maybe, because is it possible that it could be setting him up for the villain in season 3? Is he going to be the villain in season 3? Do we know?
Be.
Yeah. Maybe he'll get orders to go steal the child or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, with who has the Grogor,
Who?
Who's Grogor? Grogu?
Grogu.
Yeah.
Whatever the heck his name is.
She
Grogu.
says gold jacket, green jacket. Who gives a shit?
I have that t-shirt.
Yeah.
I literally have a t-shirt that says that.
Tomato.
Yeah, whatever. I was trying to be cool and say his real name and not the kid or the child or whatever.
Well, you could have said Amelia Clark. That's her real name.
Oh my god!
Oh my
Speaking of Amelia Clark, are you guys excited for the new Game of Thrones spinoff?
The House of Targaryens.
Yeah, it's got Matt Smith in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. After how the last season of Game of Thrones ended, I'm gonna go in with low expectations and hope to be blown away. To be honest with you, Jess, I know you haven't finished Game of Thrones, but I'm just gonna tell you, season.
I know it sucks.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Speaking of Matt Smith, did anybody happen to see Last Night in Soho this weekend? Dang it, I want to see that. It's a new Edgar Wright movie, and he's in it. Looks really, really good.
And was it
Anya Taylor-Joy?
Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy's in it. Yeah.
I forget the other girl's name. She's from Jojo Rabbit.
She's blowing up ever since the Queen's Gambit. She's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep. She was really funny on SNL when she hosted.
I didn't get to see SNL with Jason Sudeikis.
It was good.
I watched it. It was pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about something that's not good. So, who is excited to hear that Chris Pratt was going to do the Mario movie, which still doesn't make any sense to me.
If it were live action, yes. Animated, no.
Why?
Same thing for this next story.
My question is, before I get into this next story, so the guy that voices Mario is still alive. Like, the voices all Mario in all the games, all that stuff. However, I guess he's just not big enough to draw the attention of crowds to the movie theater.
Answer this story. Would you really want to sit through a 2-hour movie of him talking like that?
It's me. No.
I mean, like everything
I guess that's
he
true.
says.
I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, you're right.
Be like, bring earplugs.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if you don't want to go see him in theaters playing Mario, you may want to see him going to theaters to play Garfield. Yeah, you heard me, Garfield. He obviously got a lot of backlash over, voicing Super Mario, and I think a lot of fans was not super thrilled for it. And there's also this weird, and maybe Justin can explain this to me because you always seem to be woke, whatever that means. Why does everybody want Chris Pratt canceled and Jack Black to replace him and everything? Why is that a thing?
So Chris Pratt has been labeled the least favorite of all the Chris's, and I think a lot of it has to do because he's pretty conservative, and he's like I don't want to sound like a jerk when I say this, but like he's like overly like Christian-y, like he's just like that, and people don't respond to that well.
I have a cousin that's like that, and I don't like him. So yeah.
Are you gonna replace it with Jack Black too?
Yeah.
I wish that'd be great.
People, because we got Chris Evans, we got Chris Pine, we got Chris Pratt. I'm sure we have other Chris's out there. I'm something Chris Hemsworth.
What about Chris
They're
Evans?
all like so far just appear to be better overall as people than Chris Pratt, which is really unfortunate because Chris Pratt on Parks and Recreation was amazing.
I thought he was amazing in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Oh yeah, he is. And that, don't get me wrong, I like Chris
Yeah.
Pratt. I mean, I
Right,
don't want to.
yeah,
I
same.
don't want to go out and talk politics with him.
Right.
I
Yeah.
would with Chris Evans, but I don't think I'm gonna get that opportunity.
Never
But
say
yeah, that's
never.
all it comes down to. Is he's pretty conservative. Might be, he who should not be named supporter, and people don't like that. So it comes down to that.
I didn't know that actually. So.
Oh yeah, that's like the big reason why people are like, "Oh, F Chris Pratt."
I try to stay the F away from politics and stuff. I really, really do, until it just gets real big, and then I'm like, oh, well.
Yeah, it's probably best to not know who your favorite actors and musicians support politically, because you probably won't like anybody at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Athletes too, I think, as well.
Yeah.
I think that follows them as well.
I just don't know, because we all know that Bill Murray has publicly stated many a times, and I think even in Zombieland that one of his biggest regrets was playing Garfield.
Yep.
So it
Which
just
is
makes
funny
me
that he made that joke in that movie.
I know, right? So it just makes me wonder. It just makes me wonder why Chris Pratt would want to play this character, but maybe it's like a big middle finger to everybody that thinks he can't do it. I don't know.
Did you ever hear why Bill Murray signed on to Garfield originally?
I can't remember. Did he?
I've
He
heard
didn't.
of it,
Did he
but
not know who Garfield was, or something?
No.
Like that?
So there's two Joel Coens in Hollywood. There's a Joel Coen who makes movies with his brother Ethan.
Yeah,
and they're very good movies. And then there's another Joel Coen who makes Garfield. And when he heard that Joel Coen was gonna make Garfield, he was like, "Oh shoot, yeah, like I'll do that." And then it was the wrong one. So.
Oh
that's funny.
no!
Or so he says. Of course, that could just be a Hollywood myth or a joke that he tells, but that's what's on record.
Yeah. Well, I'm not excited for it, to say the least. Yeah,
Houston
Coen Brothers
knows what's up.
Yeah,
Some of the
they know
best.
what's up. Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, let's talk about. So, speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy and speaking of Chris Pratt,
Great segue.
Yeah, thanks for calling it out. So it really makes it not like a segue when you make it obvious. Appreciate that. Anyways,
Did you do that digitally in the notes?
Yes, I absolutely did.
Oh, I didn't. For some reason, I did not think.
Yeah, and see, now that I've made a smooth transition, now it's been ruined by everyone.
I was so shocked.
No. I'm the one that wrote the Guardians of the Galaxy. That was not you, Travis.
Travis is taking credit.
Well, I sandwiched it in there specifically.
Okay. Okay.
No, you did write that. You're not.
I
wrong.
did, and then I brought up Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh God, my cat's stepping on my.
And I did nothing.
But make a scene. That's what you did. Look at this.
A scene.
Look at this.
Look at that chunk. Oh my gosh!
Don't make fun of me, bro.
Look at this. Look at this.
I was talking about you.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I hate it. Stop asking me to go to lunch so much.
I was talking about the cat.
I know. Anyways, so speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy or Chris Pratt, I already forgot what it was. Been playing the game. The game is great. In a story. Let's move on. No, I'm just kidding. Justin, why don't you give us your thoughts on the game, because you've been playing a little bit of it as well, right?
Yeah, I really like it. I was really afraid it was going to be just kind of like Avengers, but with Guardians, and it's not. It's made by a totally different team, and it's actually good. So that was fun. The game offers a great soundtrack too, which I did not expect.
Yeah,
and the way it is like you have these moments where like I don't know, the game that I told Emily it reminds me of is like a watered down version of Mass Effect, where you kind of have your ship, you can interact with a lot of things. And the combat, you only control Star-Lord, but you're with the team, and you can give out abilities. Like each member has an ability or abilities that you can use in combat, and it kind of reminds me of the abilities in Mass Effect, where I can just say, "Hey, you're good at this, go do that," and it would just work. Like I said, the soundtrack's great. Being able to do like big battles with like a cool song playing in the background, like in the movies, is pretty sweet. Gameplay's pretty good. Combat's a little simple. That's when the abilities really shine, because you're just shooting like over and over and over again. But then like bringing the abilities in really mixes it up. I did not care for the ship gameplay. I don't like piloting the ship, the Milano. Do you?
It was an escape scene, so I was fine with it. There's not really been any open space where I've had to fly around yet, but the escape scene was fine. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing I would want them to put into the game constantly.
I would rather have a cool cutscene there, because it just felt boring to me. But I really like it, and I thought at first I was like, "Gosh, another game where it's gonna be kind of like Avengers, but it's not gonna have the movie counterparts." Blah, and it ended up being really good. I was really surprised by it. And Rocket's banter, Rocket makes everything better. The banter between everybody is so good. I mean, it's like you said, it's a sleeper hit this year. It's a game that kind of snuck up on me. I had no interest in it, and now it's one of my favorite games from this year.
It makes me wonder if some of the team that was behind it was the team from Final Fantasy, because I get a lot of the same elements as far as like the gameplay, like the graphics, because I know that it's Square Enix, but it just, I don't know, it kind of has that vibe to it, I think. One of the things, have you gotten far enough to get the elemental feature on your pistols yet?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, you get the ability to shoot ice out of your pistols, and that really changes up the gameplay, because
Okay.
you'll be able to like freeze enemies, and then that allows you to do other stuff, things like that. So I've played far enough that everybody has their first main ability, but I haven't gotten the second ability on anybody yet. But I do have the elemental feature on my pistols, which has actually really changed the gameplay up a little bit.
Nice.
Love the chemistry between the characters, the banter back and forth, and you get the one thing you didn't mention that I'm a big fan of is you get the dialogue choices.
Yeah. The
And I
dialogue choices
think
are good.
and I'm pretty sure it changes kind of. I don't know if it's going to necessarily change the outcome of the game, but I feel like it changes the outcome of certain events as you're playing through the game. Because I don't know about you, but I chose to hide that creature on the ship. No, they found the creature on the ship because I had the option to shoot the creature that I stole off the ship or hide the parts. I hid the parts, and I think I ended up owing Nova like 8,000 credits. This is what I ended up doing. I don't know what route you went or how much you owed, but yeah, it's interesting because they also have the creature or the features and conversation, very, very similar to Mass Effect, kind of like you said as well. But it definitely is a game I would recommend checking out. It makes me wish that Avengers was more like that game, which I know Avengers is kind of like Destiny because you can group up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me wish that they would have really forgot about the multiplayer focus and made it more of a single player experience, which I know you can go through the game in single, or the actual campaign I think is a single player experience.
It is.
But I don't think there's nearly as much focus on the single player as there is the multiplayer element to Avengers. So yeah. But other than that, yeah, I really, really like it. Emily, I know you're not going to play it, but I just want you to know it's good.
Well, I was, telling Justin before the show that this sounds very similar to Midnight Suns, and I definitely plan on playing Midnight Suns.
Yeah, I've heard about that game. It looks pretty cool.
It's very similar in the sense of like you control one character, but then you in the fights and stuff like that, you actually can like tell Wolverine to do this or do that. It's like a turn-based type thing. And you actually can interact with and like talk to all the other heroes they have an abbey or whatever that you actually stay at, and there's like you can actually do a lot of story and a lot of exploring and stuff like that within that area, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm excited for Midnight Suns. I probably won't play Guardians of the Galaxy just because it just doesn't seem like a very streamer friendly game because of the music.
It's not. I've heard that it's not.
Yeah. So I mean, because I would have to just turn the music off if I played that on stream.
Yeah, and that's
and then it wouldn't be as enjoyable. Yeah, I would not be able to enjoy it as much. So
yeah, there's a really cool feature. I don't know if you talked about, Justin, the rally feature.
The huddle,
yeah, the huddle, like when you're in the middle of combat, and I think you can pretty much do it at any time as long as your meter's full. But I think it's mostly to use like when everybody's about to die, maybe.
Yeah.
But you pull everybody into a huddle. You start playing music. You pull everybody into a huddle, and you're having a conversation in the middle of combat. And depending on how it goes, you'll either help them rally or you'll do the opposite, and they won't even listen to you. Which I'll be honest, I've done 4 huddles, and I've not managed to motivate my team once.
Really? I got the first one right. Second one, I think I got wrong.
Yeah, I guess I'm a terrible leader. I always pick the option I feel like's right, but maybe I'm just not I don't know. I also had no idea, and this is probably going to be super embarrassing, especially since I'm a co-host on a podcast called Nerds with Mics, but I had no idea that Star-Lord's name is based off of a music group. Star-Lord.
That's not a real band.
Is it not? Okay.
They are now, but like they're new. They're not like...
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
because I saw that in the game. I was like, I don't know if that's right or not, but maybe this is basically
Because
on
like their whole album's on the game, and I looked it up because like what? Because I didn't know that either. And then they made that album like last year.
So basically, okay. Well, now I don't feel so stupid. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I still feel stupid, but not as stupid.
You should.
Okay. All right. Cool.
The amount of detail in that opening scene. Sorry, when you're Peter Quill as a teenager, like you have like an actual Rolling Stone magazine you can look through. You have a Chewbacca toy. It's just kind of neat, like all the little
Cool.
like real branding that's in that sequence.
Yeah, you actually find your Chewbacca later in the game. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you actually go back to that scene where you actually go upstairs and talk to your mom. You probably haven't made it that far yet, have you?
No.
Yeah, I think that's where you start to find out about your dad and stuff, which they haven't gotten into yet. But yeah,
I'm excited to try it. The story's really good.
Okay, cool. All right, Emily, you ready to take us home?
Yeah, it's that time for
Pick of the week.
We did not do that very well, so
just pick of the week.
pick of the week. Yeah. So my pick of the week, this week is gonna be Tacoma FD. So it is a TV show. It's a true TV show. But you can watch it on HBO Max, the first 2 seasons, and then the 3rd season is out. So Kevin Hefferman and Steve Lemmy, they both were starred and wrote Super Troopers, Beer Fest, Club Dread, I think, Slam and Salmon, Super Troopers 2. There's a bunch. But they are the two of the main characters in it, and then of course they have a bunch of other people that are absolutely amazing, and then they also have people from those other movies that do guest appearances in the show. But it's about a fire department in Tacoma, Washington, and and if you know Washington, it's very rainy and very cold, so they don't really tend to get out often. They do like stupid stuff. Like the first episode is they're rescuing an alpaca out of a swing set, and it keeps spitting on them. Like, it's so, Travis, I know you said you don't like their style of movies, but this is like, it's like episodic, and it's just the stupidest stuff ever that you can think of it. But it's so funny. If you like all those other shows that, you've been watching, I think that you would enjoy it. But, it's, and I got Jesse on it because I'd watched the first few episodes and Jesse hadn't watched them. He was like, is this good? I was like, yes. I was like, it's really good. And he started watching it with me, and we both watched, I think on Sunday, we watched seasons 1 and 2 completely. He just left.
He did. I didn't kick him out. He just left. Yeah. There he is.
Bring him back in
back.
here. You turd. You're a big old turd.
I didn't mean to drop off intentionally. That was not planned, I promise.
I'm sure.
I was trying to see if
internet went out.
No. I was trying to see if I could share something on the screen when I talk, but I don't know if I can. So
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, it's really good. Jesse and I watched the first two the first 2 seasons because that's what's on HBO Max all of Sunday. Like, that's all we watched. And I haven't laughed my butt off that hard since, I've watched like the first Super Troopers and stuff. I like Super Troopers was definitely my favorite of all those movies that they did, obviously, and Super Troopers 2 is pretty good as well. I watched all the other movies as well, but they don't like hold a candle to Super Troopers. So, but it's very good. Like I said, you'll see a few people come in from those other movies, but honestly, there's one dude in it that's funnier than both of them combined. His name's Ike, and he is one of the firefighters.
Mm-hmm.
And he's stupid. Like, he's really stupid. But he's also a entertainer as his side job. And he's just so funny, and like he'll get all big eyed like when he's talking. I don't know. Like, I can't explain like just how good this guy is. Like, and he's so funny. But it's a different, I don't know, it's a different kind of humor than I think Super Troopers and all the other ones are. So I think you would like it. I think you should give it a shot and watch like the first like 4 or 5 episodes, and I think you would really enjoy it. So But yeah, that's my pick of the week.
I want to watch it. It does sound really good.
So good. It's so good. And like you still need to watch Sirens, Justin.
Yeah, I
That's
do.
also really, really good. But yeah.
Yeah.
Do it, Travis. Do it.
I've been watching Parks and Rec. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I've finally started watching Parks and Rec. So, all
Is that your
right.
pick?
No, that's not my pick.
Okay.
Also, I don't know if you saw Terry Texas and group.
Mhm.
Supposedly, there's a rumor that Jim Carrey has been tapped to play.
Terry.
Yeah, Jim Terry. That's his cousin. No, Jim
man.
Carrey has supposedly been tapped to play MODOK in the MCU. Those are rumors. Nothing
I love
confirmed.
it. I love it.
Interesting. But anyways, I mean, he worked as Dr. Robotnik, so
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Which is really weird. I enjoyed Sonic more than I should have probably.
It's good. It's a good movie.
Yeah. But anyways, so I have 2 pick of the weeks actually. First, Squid Games. And I promised Justin I wouldn't go into it, but do yourself a favor if you haven't watched it. No, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into it. But what I'm saying is if you're nervous because it's one of those shows that you either have to read subtitles or do the dubbed for English, honestly, the dub for English is not that bad.
I watched it dubbed.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend watching it dubbed. I'm one of those people that if I have to read subtitles, that's my only option. I spend more time reading the subtitles and focusing what's on the screen. So that's why I did dubbed. But definitely would recommend it. At least watch to the end of episode 1. I mean, that's all it took.
Watch it too.
That's all it took for me. Once the end of episode 1 happened, because leading up to you're like, what's going on? And then it happens, and you're like, and then you're just like, yeah, it's awesome.
And the reason with dub too is like you miss so many little things.
Yeah.
If you're reading subtitles, like there's a lot of like little tiny things that you will miss if you're reading subtitles.
Yeah. And then I don't think I can read. I don't think I can share my screen. I'm going to try, but I don't think I set up the sharing parameters on Opera. Can y'all see my? Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Am I allowed to show that? Will you get off Twitch?
No, it's a product. It's a product. So I got my new Switch, and while I've been happy playing with in handheld mode because of the OLED, I've also been sad that I have this 77-inch OLED 4K HD TV that every time I dock my Switch, I just get sad because it kind of looks like hot garbage in some games. So I read about this device and I decided to give it a try. But basically, it's called the M Classic, and what it does is it basically takes like a lot of low res content and upscales it. As you can see in this example of Fortnite here, where there's a lot of jaggies and jaggedy edges and things like that. Once it does all the processing and anti-alias and stuff like that, it makes it a lot sharper, and it also enhances like the color and contrast and things like that. It's a real simple solution. It basically comes with a little HDMI cable that you plug into. You could use it on any HDMI source. You can use it on computer monitors, whatever it may be. But basically, you plug in power, plug in HDMI, and it's got 3 modes off. So if you just want to use it as a pass through and not have it actually do any kind of enhancement at all, you can do that. You can do the one which will obviously upscale and do anti-aliasing, things like that. And then there's a third option. If you're hooking it into something that's a retro console, it will give you the black bars on the side, and it does a special algorithm for like old content. The reason I went with this is especially with the 64 games coming to the Switch, I wanted to have something that was going to help increase the looks and feel of those games as well. As you can tell here, just through the example of how the anti-aliasing works. And if you have stuff that's, beyond 1080p, it will upscale. And it doesn't really produce any lag, so if you're concerned about that, and as you can tell on here, the sharpening of the image on the left versus the right there, it is fairly pricey. I mean, it's $100, but I plan on getting another retro console, and theoretically, if you actually hook this thing into a HDMI splitter, so say if you had your Switch hooked up, say you had like one of your retro PlayStations hooked up, whatever it may be, theoretically, anything you have plugged into that HDMI selector would be getting filtered and anti-aliased and everything with this device. It was one of those things I didn't think I was going to be able to tell a difference, but I spent several hours, I felt like, just turning it off and turning it on just to see if I could see a difference. And the difference will vary depending on like what game you're playing. Like Breath of the Wild, I noticed it. Animal Crossing, I noticed it. I've noticed though that it's a bigger difference. It's a bigger difference if you are playing stuff that is native 720, because some Switch games are 720p, some Switches are native 1080p. The ones that are 720p, you'll probably notice a bigger difference. But the ones that are natively 1080p, you're probably going to notice a little less of a difference. But playing my Switch docked has been a lot more enjoyable for me just based off this thing alone. So yeah, I would definitely recommend checking it out. But that's my pick of the week for that.
Very cool. I'm looking at it now. I think that looks pretty neat. So I know it's your pick of the week, but like you would recommend something like this for people who play the Switch a lot?
I would, yes. Well, that, and if you have a large 4K TV, like I think if you're on a 4K TV that's probably maybe like 50, 55 inches, you may not notice a huge difference. But for me, having a 77-inch TV and docking my Switch, like it just doesn't look good. It didn't look good at all to me, in my opinion. But I mean, you know, since I have a bigger screen, I noticed a bigger difference almost immediately. And that's stuff that I look at all the time. But I would recommend it. I mean, if you want to try it out somewhere where you know you're going to have a return policy. Like I probably wouldn't buy it from GameStop because they only have 7 days. But right now you can actually get this device from Best Buy. And right now I think you're in a holiday return policy. So anything that you buy, you actually have, I think it's like past January. I think it's like January 16th to return.
Nice.
So if you wanted to try it out, buy it somewhere where you're going to be able to check it out, take the time that you need to see if it's something that you find value in. Because honestly, I'm going to also take my PlayStation Classic that I've modded to have, maybe I shouldn't say that on air, but that has tons of retro games on it. And I'm also going to run it through this as well. So it wasn't just solely for my Switch. It was more so when I'm using stuff that I'm also going to be able to emulate as well, was another reason that I wanted to go this route. Because I looked at the price of doing like a Raspberry Pi and building something like that, that I could also have it do as well, or just a device that's just plug and play and I don't have to do anything. Like there's no software for this, so it just works. Like it has that little switch is three different toggles. If it's not on, it's just completely black. If you flip it to the middle, it's green, and that means it's like your Switch, things like that. And then if you're going to play like retro stuff, then you flip it to the third, and it's blue. We get it, Travis. You have a big screen. Yeah, it's right there. It's so big. It's so big.
But the first time you've heard that, and then geez.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure GameStop's return policy is in holiday return policy is in effect right now too.
Oh, okay. So well, let me tell you about GameStop real quick, because I'm not too
I know all about GameStop.
Well, let me tell you my recent experience with GameStop when I bought the Switch, because I did not bring this up. So I am not like, anytime I buy something from Best Buy, I'll buy the protection plan just because I know it covers accidents. I know like what's what, right? Unfortunately, I couldn't get my Switch from Best Buy because just the inventory constraints, things like that. However, I bought this Switch from GameStop, and I specifically asked when I bought it, hey, does your all's protection plan cover accidental damage? The girl that was working was like, well, they want us to tell you that it does, but they do have the right to change that at any time during it. So I was like, well, I'll think about it. I came back 7 days later because I knew that I had to add it 7 days. I asked the guy right before I buy it, hey, does this cover accidents? Absolutely does not. No, it doesn't. It'll cover Joy-Con drift, things like that. But if you drop and demolish a console, no, it doesn't cover any of that. I'm like, okay, cool.
It used to cover it, right?
I was not really able to get a straight answer. The one girl made it seem like it could. This guy was like, it's a hard no.
You're better off just going like Square Trade or something and doing. I mean,
it was $60 for 2 years, and I was just like, I mean, I don't know.
Like there would be so many times when people would come in with like controllers, and you know, it was so often that, you know, we would be told, yeah, it covers accidental damage, and then later on down the road, we would get these like hits on our reports saying that we returned a controller busted to hell, and we were like, yeah, because and then they're like, ours we don't cover that. I'm like, well, you said so. Yeah. Like consoles, like I've never sold handheld consoles as accidental damage. I was just like, no, No. I was like, I looked at people and I said, listen, I was like, if it comes back and it looked like you took a hammer to it, no, I'm not going to replace it. I was like, but if it comes back in and it looks good and it just doesn't work, I'll replace it. Is what I told people, you know?
Yeah, that's basically what he kind of said.
Yeah. I never told people we would replace accidental damage on.
But he also
consoles.
told me. He also told me too. Now this is another conflicting story. He said, if you have a he said if we have to replace a Joy-Con due to drift, we will, but that'll use up your entire plan.
No, I never did that.
And he said, we don't just he said we won't just replace your Joy-Con. He was like, we'll just give you a whole new console. I'm like, so if I have Joy-Con drift, you'll replace my whole console, but if it's a mobile console and I drop it and accidentally crack it, you're not going to take care of it. Okay, so what you're trying to say is when I want it replaced, I just need to tell you my Joy-Con is drifting.
Yeah, usually
never mind the smash screen.
Yeah, usually what I would do is if someone's Joy-Cons were drifting, I would replace. Like I would get the receipt, see they got the warranty. I would replace each Joy-Con at least once without using up their warranty, you know, like as just like almost like, you know, I would set that I would say that it's under warranty. I would just do it that way. But because it was so rarely that we had switches to switch out with. We had Joy-Cons to switch stuff out with, but we never had like the actual console. So I never got in trouble for it. So whatever. I don't work there anymore either. So
I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. It was just something I was just thinking about, and I just remembered how aggravated I was because I specifically waited to think about it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, she made it seem like it did, just to come back to say I'll get that, for him to say, nah, I don't cover that.
Well, the thing is like it's so inconsistent. No matter if you go to a GameStop in another state, if you go to GameStop locally, the amount of times that people have different stories on what is covered and what's not is just, it's never consistent throughout the whole company. I'll have somebody come in and have bought something in California and they have their receipt and they're like, well, they told me I could piss on this and it would be covered, you know? And like it was And now more than anywhere, there's so many new employees because there's so many old employees quitting, good employees quitting because of how they're being treated. You know, you just get so much more inconsistency because of that. Yeah. Lack of training.
Well, I was going to say, and we wonder why we're in the boat we're in now. So they can't be all good like you were when you worked there, Emily.
I was the best.
You really were. Justin used to be the best until I farted on him and then he became the worst. So funny story. I'm not going to say this on live air. Never mind.
No, you already told this story.
No. It wasn't about Justin. It was something that I learned when I went home yesterday.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the time you farted on Justin at work.
Well, it has to do with farting. So I found out my family, since I've been home to visit, they have this new thing that they'll fart around each other, and then when the other person complains about smelling it, they'll just say it's a COVID test. And good thing that they can smell it because that means they don't have COVID.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Now Justin's going to go upstairs and immediately fart on his child. They say, do you smell that? Oh, good. You don't have COVID.
Don't have COVID. Wow.
You get fart on Jesse.
Hey, that's a pretty solid at-home test.
I'm not going to do that.
What'd you say, Justin?
That's a pretty solid at-home test. You don't have to wait that long for the results.
Dude, cheaper. I can't tell you how many times today I gave myself a COVID test.
Oh my gosh.
I have a lot of at-home tests. Anyway, Emily, you want to close this out?
Jeez.
I don't remember. I don't like closing us out.
Okay,
I can open us.
Justin can close us. Yeah, because if you don't have anything written, you can't do it.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 122 of Nerds with Mics. We hope you enjoyed this extra silly episode.
They're all extra silly. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. We try to be live every Monday at 8:30. If you miss us live, we'll be on your favorite podcasting app. You can also rewatch the episode on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. I think Twitch. Actually, I said that. I don't know for sure, but definitely YouTube and Facebook. And thanks. Subscribe, follow, share, review, tweet, retweet, hashtag, all of that. Okay, thanks. Bye.
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 I don't have it queued up because I had to give that thing.
Okay.